Dr. Aaron Kane here with Impact Family Chiropractic, and we are on week 2 of our top 10 ailments we're seeing in this office with our kids. And again, throughout the week, we'll be doing a video, a blog post, a research article, and if you want any additional information, the blog is a great place to start, but you can also reach out to us, and we're always open and available to talk about some of these things our kids are going through on a daily basis. So let's dive right in. Week 2 is ear infections. And so in order to understand ear infections, let's look at the body and the anatomy and how everything is connected. So our eustachian tubes are the tubes that connect our ears to our sinuses or to our throat. So they go straight through. Now, the purpose of the eustachian tubes and the way that they work is they're supposed to filter out fluid. Now, what can happen and what we have to realize is that with a child, their eustachian tubes are more horizontal. As we grow up, our tubes become more at an angle and they're easier to drain that fluid. So we have a child with more horizontal eustachian tubes, and the job is to filter and to get rid of fluid. So what can happen is that when our eustachian tube or our body can no longer get rid of that fluid that's building up, it sits in a hot, moist environment, and that always produces bacteria. And enough bacteria formulates, you get a type of infection, right? So we have a few different options at this point. So the first option is to take an antibiotic, which will it'll take care of that bacteria, and it'll go ahead and wipe that out. And in kids, we typically see bounce back pretty quick. But the problems with antibiotics is it takes out your normal bacteria in your body as well, which is a huge part of your immune system. So we have to remember that if we take an antibiotic drug, at that point our bodies are more susceptible to more illness because our immune system has now dipped. So then how does chiropractic take a look at ear infections? Well, first and foremost, the top bone in our neck, which is called the abs, sits just 2 millimeters from these eustachian tubes, and they're very closely related to one another. So what can happen is when that top bone in our neck gets misaligned, it can misalign our eustachian tubes, and one of our eustachian tubes can no longer drain the fluid the way that it was intended, and it builds up that bacteria and that pressure, and that's when we get that hot, inflamed ear, and you see the kids hugging on it constantly. They're irritable, they can't sleep, they're in pain. And so as a chiropractor, the first thing that I do is our neurological scans. I make sure first and foremost that that misalignment at the top of the neck is not causing interference to the way the nerves are functioning. Because again, those nerves are going to a lot more important places than just the ear. It's our ears, our eyes, our nose, our throat, some very important things. The second thing that we look at is the alignment of that atlas. Now, if we're detecting a misalignment with the spine and it's impacting those nerves, then at that point, we can guarantee that that's having an influence on the function of their nervous system and their health. And so what we see is that when we can correct these misalignments in the neck, the eustachian tubes can now become better adapted, and they can now drain the way that they're supposed to. Fluid that can now drain does not build up that bacteria, and so we see a lot of reduction of ear infections without the compromise of the immune system at the same time. In fact, chiropractic research shows us that after a chiropractic adjustment, a child's immune system can be boosted by up to 300%. It's just absolutely amazing. So to sum it up, the alignment of our neck has direct correlation with the alignment of our eustachian tubes. And if your child's ears are not draining the way that they should, we should often look at the very top of the neck for the cause. And again, the vast majority of the parents that are coming into our office are actually bringing their kids in so that they never have to even experience things like ear infections. And they're trying to boost their child's immune system and their nervous system in a natural type way, so again, they can take care of these things naturally. So visit our blog. If you have any additional questions, feel free to reach out, and we'll see you next week. Take care.